everyone. Welcome to But Did You Die with the Jet Sisters. This is episode 19. Wow. I'm Rachel. That's Angie. And we're back, baby. I said that every week. Like, we're not going to be here.
every week. We're
But
back. That's what happens.
Sometimes we don't come back for a couple weeks, but we have nothing to do this summer, and it's amazing.
Speak for yourself.
I mean, whatever. What are you even doing?
I literally have a lot of things going on right now.
Okay.
For example, Figapalooza.
Okay. Angie's going to make her friends eat figs. So have fun, everyone. I won't be there.
Your invitation is lost in the mail.
I would not go. I don't want your figs.
I'm having a homegrown fig-based dinner party. You don't want to go? You know what? Stay home. Miss out on the figcella of your lifetime from a real life fig farmer, me.
Well, that does sound like a fun summer activity now that summer is here and it's 95 degrees out. I'm over it already. Summer has barely started in Florida and it's horrible. I'm so sad.
Technically, I know how you love technicalities. Technically, it's not even summer yet. Summer doesn't technically start until like the third week of June. It's just hell, and it's still spring, if you must know. Yeah.
I mean, I believe that. Our pool doesn't work, so everything's going terribly wrong.
Is this giving you a preview of what your new house is going to be like without a pool? Are you just a little bit sad?
No, I think it's worse when you have the pool and you can't swim in it because I'm just out there with my arms crossed. Like, I mean, your pool just got fixed and it was your job.
It's not even clear yet. You know, it goes a little bit green and then it takes so long to get it back to whatever. It's still kind of like cloudy and blue. I don't care. I don't care. I'll swim in it green. I'll swim in it cloudy and blue. It's too hot not to. Of course, it's like 97 degrees in the water now. So happy Florida.
Hey, thanks for sharing our podcast, everyone. People are listening, and that's exciting, and we love it. And it's especially exciting because, you know, Google and AI are stealing everyone's content. So they haven't figured out podcasts yet or videos.
Google is training its AI to take all of the correct information from people's blogs. So somebody like me who's been blogging for 18 years, putting up helpful first-person travel content for all this time, Google is going and combining it all. And so if you say you type in things to do in Stockholm, they just steal all my answers, put it on their page, never send anybody to my page. And so then I'm homeless and Google is richer. Like, what? Yeah, there should probably be a lawsuit. I'll probably be 85 years old before I get, you know, my class action $11 from the lawsuit. But yeah, to that point, please listen to our podcast. Please continue sharing it and telling people because we have very hungry children.
You're definitely in a worse boat than I am since I have a job. You have a job, but Google is stealing your work, which is rude.
You know, Google's like whole deal used to be like do no evil. I feel like that was the top of, maybe that was Apple. It was Apple or Google, and they took it out. They like quietly removed it from their, you know, their mission statement, and then they were like, do all the evil. Yeah. So I mean,
we're gonna do some evil.
We've actually changed our mind and we are gonna do evil. It is pretty terrible. I'd say it's probably as bleak as it's been as a blogger in my career as a blogger from the beginning of it to now. So will be interesting to see where it goes.
Sorry, everybody. In other news, should we get to travel news?
Sure, let's do it. Turbulence in the skies. I'm sure everybody heard about this severe turbulence on a Singapore Airlines flight where one person died and close to 100 people were hospitalized. It was a London to Singapore flight. They had to divert to Bangkok. It was so bad. The plane dropped 1,000 feet or something in moments. It dropped a lot and abruptly. It wasn't like it was bumpy, and everybody put their seatbelt on. It was like fine, and then everybody unbelted hit the ceiling.
Did you see the graph of like it was turbulence and then like up and down hugely? And planes aren't supposed to do that. It's supposed to give you peace of mind that planes cannot have that drastic of turbulence. But this one did, and there's like an investigation now why it was so intense. Yeah, and the guy that died, we should mention, didn't die from the turbulence, had a heart condition, probably would have been fine if there wasn't turbulence, but that happened. And then everybody that was injured was unbuckled, walking around, was a flight attendant. You can see parts of the roofs are missing and all the masks fell. And I don't want to ever have that happen. Ugh.
We've talked about turbulence a lot because pilot Nick, our, amazing resource for everything travel, he was telling us that really turbulence is not a big deal. Planes are built to withstand quite a lot of getting tossed around in the air, and like cargo planes will go through turbulence and not like go around it, not go up higher, because like if you're not, basically it's passenger comfort that is the problem. It's not usually because of anything else. It's not because it's going to hurt the plane usually. So it's just about everybody not throwing up all over the plane. But this was a completely different kind of situation. And yeah, if you're going to drop thousands of feet in seconds, problems are going to come from that. So have you ever been on a flight with severe turbulence? I feel like the answer must be no for you, because if you had, you would never fly again, I bet.
Yeah, there was one. It was coming back from Jordan, or maybe it was coming back from Israel with Hajj. It was scary enough to where I was like, this is it. And
like, this is it. Like, I'm never traveling again.
no. Like, well, we're going to die but honestly, like, it was probably like this amount of bumpy. And I'm like, nope, that's it. We're done for. Yeah, I mean, I hate flying, and I don't know why we fly so much. Literally, my whole job is flying. Well, and they say it's the safest form of transportation. And I say, no, I don't agree.
Listen to this statistic. So between 2009 and 2022, 163 people were injured seriously enough during turbulence events to require hospital treatment. Okay. That's according to the NTSB. And most of them were flight attendants. Look, that's 13 years, 163 injuries worldwide because of turbulence. Injury because of turbulence is so rare. It really is so rare.
That's fine.
It's so safe.
That's fine. What were the death numbers?
0.
No, in 13 years there have been no plane crashes.
That's not turbulence. People don't.
No, I don't care about turbulence. Tell me about crashing planes.
Yeah, we're not talking about crashing planes. We're only talking about turbulence.
Oh, okay. No,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
I'd rather not die.
The turbulence is not going to be your problem.
Airplanes are crazy, man. We got to figure out a travel news that's not about airplanes. And next week, that's going to be the goal. I'm going to write it down. No more wire hangers. Sorry, airplanes.
Okay, Psycho. All right, moving on. This is a very exciting topic. I'm excited to talk about this. It's good. It's not bad. It's actually amazing. It's actually one of the best trips we've had ever.
It was a great trip. And we are talking, of course, about our few days in Stockholm, Sweden. Woo! Yes, we just got back. We spent Tuesday through Sunday. Mm-hmm. And of course, we talked last week about the Taylor Swift concert. That's why we were there, for tourism. If you want to know more about Taylor Swift and all of those things, that is last week. This week, we are talking things to do in Stockholm and how hard it is to get there.
Yeah, getting there was more of a pain than I thought it. What? What? How am I a professional?
I'm keeping that in for sure.
I'm a professional. I don't know if it was a Florida thing, if it was from where we were coming from. There's just not a lot of airlift, but I got us those tickets, with no idea how to get there, what the plan was. I'm just like very optimistic that every place in the world is so easy to get to. And it was not as easy. Like, we had to fly to Dallas, which, it's so annoying to have to go backwards just to go forward, especially when that means you're on a 10-hour flight instead of a shorter one. But that's what we ended up doing. That was the most cost effective. That's how we could use my my status, which was helpful.
We went to Dallas, had to go
Plane.
to Helsinki, then Helsinki to Stockholm. So it was 3 flights. We didn't miss any of the connections on the way there, which was nice, but it did take, I'll connect once and then I'm done. So the 3 planes was crazy. But once we got there, it was beautiful. It was supposed to be cold. But as we flew over, the temperature changed, thanks global warming, and it was 73 degrees.
It was nice. It was like perfect walk everywhere weather,
Mhm.
perfect open top bus tour weather. I mean, we just had the best time. And everybody was happy. I don't know if everybody was happy because it was like the week that they thawed and everybody came out of seasonal depression. That's what it felt like. It felt like people were just frolicking around, kicking up their heels, and just having the best time. Everybody was so friendly.
Mhm.
I've
Yes.
said this 100 times, is that we didn't have a single negative interaction. Not one rude person, not one creepy man, not one aggressive street performer, like literally nothing. Everybody was just a vibe, like a chill vibe.
So before we get into activities, Ange, can you paint a picture for our listeners? Where is Sweden? Because you think of Sweden, you think, yeah, Europe, somewhere over there. Where? Where in Europe?
Yeah. So Sweden is in Scandinavia. It's those 3 finger long countries that are like reaching up to the Arctic down toward Central Europe. But you've got one of them
Norway.
over here.
Norway.
Wait, which?
You've got
No,
Norway, you've got
Finland,
Sweden, and then you've got Finland.
Sweden. Yeah, we're opposite, looking at each other oppositely. So yeah, Norway, Sweden, then Finland. Um and yeah, like if you went all the way up to the north of them, you're like way north. You're like Arctic Circle, Northern Lights, all that. But you come all the way down to the southernmost part and you get to Stockholm, which these 3 countries, and I think maybe Denmark and maybe another one, are considered Scandinavia, and they're just kind of their own little deal. They're like the UK, UK's got its all its little things. Scandinavia, that's the vibe. And so they're just Scandinavia. And the surveys all say that they're the happiest countries in the world.
And you know why? I mean, I don't,
I
but the
I have
fact
so
that
many
the
ideas.
sun didn't set until 10 p.m.,
So
that
nice.
was cool. It rose at 4 a.m. and then sets at 10. So you're walking around at 9:30 like, well, we've done everything we need to do, but do you go to bed because the sun's out? Yeah.
No,
That
you
was
do not.
that
Was
was
that
crazy.
the northernmost you've ever been on the globe?
Yes. Yes. You
I
too?
think it might be equal to somewhere I was in Alaska, maybe, but
Mm,
and maybe Canada. I don't know. I
yeah.
didn't actually look, but yeah,
So
it's pretty far north, pretty far.
things to do in Stockholm. Every time I go to a new place, and Ange, I think this is true for you as well, is we do the hop on, hop off bus tour. Here's why. Yes, it's touristy. You get 24 or 48 hours of transportation to all of the hot spots that you want to see anyway. And then you get all of the history of the town in your headphones. So in 2 days, you have learned everything, you have seen everything, and hopefully you've visited those places. So what was
Yeah.
different about this one is I didn't learn a ton from the bus
Mm,
tour.
yeah.
The one thing I learned was, hey, someone bombed us one time. We don't know who it was, and we turned it into a swimming pool.
I think they knew who it was, but it was like a wayward bomb and it didn't kill anybody. So they were like, "Meh, okay."
That is what I learned.
Literally, I remember hearing over and over again that we've been at peace for 200 years. I remember hearing that so much. And interesting fun fact, but also like what else is going on here? So, yeah, it wasn't my favorite bus tour ever, but it did the job of giving us the lay of the land, showing us where everything was, which was basically that everything's pretty walkable and we'll
Mhm.
just walk it the rest of the time. But we did kind of get out into some further spots that we wouldn't have wanted to walk, just to see like the cruise port. We went all the way over there. And as part of our ticket, there was a boat tour which was called like the Under the Bridges
Hmm.
tour, and you're in these kind of like low flat boats and you cruise all around. You go through this lock from the sea to the lake, and it was fine. I don't know that I would do that again. I'd probably do the archipelago tour
Hmm.
where you go into further out islands, because this one was a little bit slow and it took 2 hours and it's not like a hop on hop off. So maybe the archipelago one would be better, but it was nice either way because the weather was so nice,
Hmm.
and everyone else was so nice.
So yeah, we spent a whole day. We did the boat tour and then we did the bus tour, grabbed some lunch. That was our first full day. And then the second day we were there was our museum day. And we were looking online on things to do in Stockholm, and most of the things are museums. So we went to the Vasa Museum and the ABBA Museum. There's a couple more you can visit, but those were the two that we did. And the Vasa Museum, oh boy. If you thought you've ever done something embarrassing, just know no one made a museum about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a 17th century warship that sank immediately. Could you imagine?
It
Like you
was
built,
less than a mile from the
yeah,
dock on its maiden voyage.
and then it just
That's
sank.
that's like worse than the Titanic. I mean, not like lives lost wise and financially and stuff, but
I
ugh.
don't know because the Titanic was literally like, "Hey, you can't sink our ship," and then it sank. So it might not be.
Yeah, that's true. That was a lot of hubris involved, which is
Yeah.
very embarrassing. But yeah,
Um,
needless to say, it stayed underwater for a couple hundred years, and then they decided to pull it up.
300, 333 years later, they brought it out of the water. I think like more than 95% of it was saved because it was so cold. And they built a museum around it. So now you can go look at it, get all the history.
They did pull up so much stuff from, the floor of the sea or whatever, and like full skeletons, outfits, sails, so much stuff that they could really recreate the whole thing. Listen,
Mhm.
I was like, this sounds boring. Mom saw some kind of documentary or something and was like, you guys have to go to this museum. And we're like, Mom, no. And then we did. And it was a really good museum. It's very
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah. That was a cool one. And then after that, we did the ABBA Museum, which was great. You know ABBA. They're from Sweden. They won the Eurovision Song Contest in 1974. You're welcome, everyone. So that's just
Changed
like
music as we know it.
it's literally everything from their life, and it takes you through their life and the bands they were in before, and then their life on
The
tour.
day they met, the day they met the other ones, the car
Yes,
they were driving in, so much stuff.
it's overwhelming. You should have half a day to go through that if you really want to dive into everything. I think doing Vasa and then ABBA, I was like, I can't. I'm out. Um,
Yeah.
but you can sing, and everyone can hear you sing. So just be aware when
Yeah, they have
you're.
these cute little like cabinets almost that you go in to do karaoke, but it's not loud. So you're standing outside, there's a little curtain and everybody's behind you and you're like, dancing queen. You don't want to like really belt, but it was a lovely museum. Very well done. Well thought out. I can't wait till the day I get to go through the Britney Museum or the Taylor Swift Museum in
Oh
such a way when I'm old and gray and I
yes,
can, you know,
yeah.
live that life. But it's very cool. I didn't even know that ABBA won the Eurovision Song Contest until I saw that Will Ferrell movie.
Hmm.
Didn't even know. Like Eurovision was not on my American Girl radar. It just wasn't for many, many years. So now I'm very excited that I do know what that is. And in fact, the most recent one took place in Sweden the week before we got there.
Sweden had a time. Sweden had Eurovision and then Taylor Swift. Well, and Beyonce before Eurovision. So
Really? Like
yeah,
recently?
yeah. So that was museum day. I think that's all we did that day. We ate a lot of pasta because I wanted to eat a lot of pasta.
Indeed.
Also had Swedish meatballs, just like the IKEA ones. So
I will say all the food we ate was incredible.
mhm.
Stockholm has so much, it's such a cosmopolitan city. You know, people from everywhere, food from everywhere. Very New Yorky that way. Just
Mhm.
anything you could want.
And everyone speaks English. So this is a good place to go if maybe this is your first trip
Oh my gosh.
out of America. Everyone, it's very easy and everyone's very nice. The next day, I think, was all Taylor Swift things. So we made bracelets in the park. Then we went to the concert. So we've already talked about that. And then after Taylor Swift, we got Swedish massages all day. And it was amazing. Where was that place?
I want to say it's called the Elite Palace
Yes.
Hotel and
Yes.
the Vana Spa. Try not to confuse it with the Vasa Museum, but I think it was the Vana Spa, and it's a day spa. So there's plunge pools and hot pools and saunas and steam rooms and all the good things. And I'm just super pumped that I got to get a Swedish massage in Sweden by a Swede.
It was excellent. We were there for what, like 6 hours just.
Longer than we should have been. I think longer than we paid for, and they were so nice.
So those were our days in Sweden. You might be thinking you didn't do a ton. Well, we did everything in Stockholm. Really, those we saw the things to see. And then if you want to go back, there are day trips outside of Stockholm. So we didn't do any of those. We didn't have that kind of time.
Mm-mm.
But there are other things to do
Yeah.
when you go to Sweden. So just be aware, like look into those things. But we did.
We were
did
not
Stockholm.
trying to jam pack our days. We were trying to have a mellow trip to Europe that was reasonable, which is not what we usually do.
Now we must get into the disaster, which involves us leaving Sweden.
The disaster. So we had to connect from Stockholm. We connected in Madrid. Well, I didn't know this. I've connected in Madrid before, but many years ago, so I didn't remember. Madrid makes no sense. Nobody cares if you get your flight. It's almost like I think they had to decide to make you not get your flight. I don't know if they're trying to like make more money in the gift shop or what, but nobody's making their connections internationally.
No,
in Madrid.
You get off your flight. You have to wait in a long line with everyone else getting off of their international flights to get onto a train. That train takes you to a huge line that takes you through fake immigration or customs, not even
it's to get you out of Schengen. So the European countries that are in the Schengen zone, they have like a special little thing where you can transfer between them. Like when we went to Helsinki and we were just like in, right? We just got in and then we didn't have to do immigration in Stockholm because we already did it in Helsinki. Right. Whatever. But you don't even know that you have to go through that. Guess how long our connection was? That they sold us an hour, 60 minutes.
There were more than 1,000 people in this line, which takes you to another line to be like, hey, you're leaving. That's great. Bye. So then you have to go through there. Luckily, I found a guy. I was like, listen, we got to connect right now. And he's like, all right, come with me. So
this is after we've been in line a long time.
Yeah, we were in line for a long time. Then we skipped 1,000 people in line. Literally skipped 1,000 people in line. Yeah. And then there were other people behind us on our flight. And they were like, we're going to come with you. Like, let's go. So then we do the thing. We're still running through the airport. And there are people there like, oh, are you going to Miami? Yep, it's that way. And we're like, great. Running across the airport, like far.
Not a short distance.
No, it's miles. We get to our gate and they're like, nah, you missed it.
We had it in our heads that there were at least 20 people behind us who were getting on our flight. Literally every single person in that line of 1,000 people was flipping out because all those people were going to miss their connections. All of them, because of this ridiculous, non-logical line, train, terminal situation. Yeah. And everybody was like, I'm going to miss my flight. My flight's in 3 hours. I don't have time for this. We were like, our flight's in 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you mind? Like, could we please? And they're like, oh, you're not going anywhere. We're like, oh, yes, we are. We're going to do this. Readers, gentle readers, we did not, in fact, make our flight. We rocked up and they looked at us like, oh, you're late. Like, wow, we were 90 seconds late, 2 minutes late, maybe. And we thought for sure they would wait because you're not going to fly a half empty plane.
Because 21 people did not make the flight. You wouldn't wait 10 minutes?
10 minutes. Everybody would have been there. At least half the people would have been there. No, because then that's what I'm saying. You couldn't wait 10 minutes, but then all these people then have to get in a line. Then everybody's screwed for days to come. Why? What? I'm sure there are like legal reasons that you're not supposed to wait, but like, what about people reasons, man? Come on, Iberia, get it together.
Yeah, so that was our disaster. The good news is there was another flight that day, like 3
Normally there's
hours
not.
later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally
And
there's not another
no.
Iberia flight to Madrid during the day. So they told us, they said you would have had to wait till the next day. And I guess it would have been our fault because we're not the Flash and we can't run through walls and people and whatever. Like, they are the ones who gave us the 60-minute connection.
If we waited in that 1,000-person line, we still may not have even made that second flight.
Yeah, I think that's probably right.
Freaking Madrid.
And then we would have been stuck there overnight.
But that would have been cool. I would have preferred to be stuck there so we could have gone to Madrid.
We had it in our minds that, okay, if we have to go to Madrid, we'll just take Jesse's advice and we'll eat churros and paella and we'll
and
just
lose our passport.
No, not that part of Jesse's advice.
Yeah, so that was our big disaster, which still was not that big of a deal. Disaster. Yeah.
Especially because I did have lounge access, being One World, whatever. So we got to go eat free lunch. They did give us a voucher, which we didn't end up using, like a food voucher or something. So, but we didn't use it because we went to the lounge. And then we slept. We like laid down in the TV room and slept for an hour or two. And that was great. Nice. That was great.
Travel tip is have a longer connection or don't go to Madrid because it's not going to happen. Don't connect to Madrid.
I would say avoid Madrid, but also I don't know if you can avoid this kind of tomfoolery in the summer. So a lot of people commented on some of our content saying like, yeah, Charles de Gaulle, CDG, Paris sucks too. And London, the worst. And, you know, basically everywhere you're connecting is stupid and just, I don't know who's running airports, but it's not people who are good at schedules or logistics. So,
okay, here's the travel tip. When traveling, don't plan anything the next day because you're going to miss your connection. Things are going to go wrong. So just have a day where if you make it great, you're sleeping. But if you don't, you're not missing anything because I have missed many flights. I have lost my luggage. Not me, airlines. It's just traveling is not easy. Tough people. You got to be tough.
It's not. And it's like the fact that our trip was so smooth until we were on our way home. We were so like, that's okay. Like, yeah, we're sweaty and we just ran through the airport, but whatever, we'll just eat churros. Like, that's the attitude you kind of have to cultivate in what looks to be the busiest travel season we've had in a long time. And there were some youths in line in the customer service line next to us, and they were flipping out because they missed the flight to Miami and I gotta go to work tomorrow and I have to do this. Like they're the Wolf of Wall Street. I'm like, calm down, Susan. It's a internship. You'll be fine. But
you're so mean.
The point is, I know, but the point is, give yourself a buffer day if you can. Don't think an hour connection. Like, it's just not going to happen. You can barely do that domestically.
All right. What are you doing this week?
Well, I'm having a party you're not invited to. So mind your beeswax. Yeah, no, it's fig season. So I'm just like cultivating my fig tree
this is boring. Give me real information.
And I'm not doing anything else. Look, it's June. I have had a very busy year, as you may have heard or been a part of. And so I'm kind of chilling in June.
I love it.
I say that, and somebody's going to call me tomorrow and be like, we need you in Madrid, and I'm going to go to Madrid. But for now, I have no intention of going anywhere or doing anything in June.
Well, you're chilling, and I'm buying a house because we did our inspection. Boring. And things went well. Yay! No one cares about your figs.
Figs
house went well. So if all goes well, we will be moving in at the end of July. Everyone's invited to come paint our house because there's many walls.
Yeah, everyone's not invited to like enjoy things and get hamburgers. They're invited to come do grunt work.
Absolutely.
Okay, we've signed mom up.
Yeah, mom owes me many, many hours of painting. All right, unhinged sign off. What do you got?
Me first?
Sure.
Shoot. I thought I wrote down more
Oh,
stuff.
I have mine if you're not ready.
Okay.
Well, that's a wrap, folks. Remember, don't take life too seriously. No one gets out alive anyway. Goodbye.
Are you a 78-year-old retired man?
That's my dream. I live in the Cotswolds.
That's good. Okay. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Thanks for being with us, everyone. Have a great week, great start to your summer, and may this summer be anything but cruel. Get it?
Are
Cruel
you a
summer.
14-year-old girl?
Yes, that's my dream.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening. That was fun. Definitely go to Sweden. Definitely go to Spain, but just not as a layover.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.